The original Child's Play film is a prime example of a film with this caliber done right. Now, it is a little outdated, but it has gained a cult following in the last 31 years since its release. And it's especially a lot better than the 2019 reboot. The original Child's Play movie, the beginning of a long-run franchise that still goes on today. I really have to say, for a franchise that's been around for over 30 years, this definitely was the major highlight. This film builds suspense slowly, and then it didn't really kick in the high gear till later in the film. Sure, it's a slow burn, but once it gets to the height of the movie, it really shows. Movie takes place, obviously, late 1988. Charles Lee Ray is a fugitive serial killer, and he is shot, but before he dies, he transfers his soul into a doll, which ends up to the family of a widowed woman with a 6-year-old son, who she gives the doll to as a birthday gift. I really have to say this film is awesome to look at. Sure, it's a little outdated, and I never did like child actors simply because their range ain't what it can be. But despite how annoying the little boy is from time to time, he's 6 years old, so I kind of like give him a pass. Everyone does a decent job, to a great job in this film. Brad Dourif, who plays Chucky, definitely this was the start of one of his most iconic roles, especially since he played the character for almost all the films. Now, this film ain't perfect, it has its issues, and definitely a short movie. This movie probably would have benefited if it was around past 90 minutes. This movie not even 9 minutes long. And it kind of suffers from the lack of, I don't want to say story, but just not enough runtime to explore all aspects of this film. Yes, it's definitely ran during the decade of Friday 13 and Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street, but it's definitely is a movie that started off the franchise right. This movie definitely was a step in the right direction for a franchise like this. A killer doll that was sold millions back in the 1980s, and this movie made a lot of money back then off a $9 million budget. Now, like I said, it came out during a decade of the horror franchises. And to me, I always thought Child's Play, I should say, the Child's Play franchise, I thought it was always one of the weaker franchises because of where movies went after the third film. But I certainly enjoy this one here because it's a straight up horror classic, horror classic movie, if you will. And it's definitely outdated, I'll say. And there's several plot holes, and I didn't like some of the acting in this film. But if you're looking for a film that can hold you over around this time of year, then the first Child Play movie definitely is worth the effort to check out if you haven't seen this classic film by now. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving this movie an 8. I still think on some levels this movie holds up in terms of horror aspects. Maybe not today, but this is definitely one of the cult classics. And if you were a child of the 80s or 90s, then you definitely remember this film. This movie has its issues, but when it gets to the third and final act, then it picks up the suspense by like a mile. I enjoy this movie, even watching it today, especially considering how trash the 2019 reboot was. This is definitely the far better film, in my opinion, obviously. I'm just wondering, where did this franchise go? How do we get from a movie like this until the movies in the later half? And another thing, why was there some issues with this film? I don't know. This movie, it has its issues, but it's still considered a classic horror film, especially at the time it came out during the late 1980s of the horror genre. And that's my review of the 1988 film Child's Play. Alright, leave a comment section below. Let me know what you think about this film all these years later. Do you consider this film a cult classic? And also, what are your thoughts on the following films? I will be reviewing a lot of these films in the franchise. Not all of them, but some of them I definitely going to be reviewing because it's October and I'm getting to that, level where this is the film franchise I want to look at close detail. Now, up next could be my Child's Play 2 review, but I haven't seen Joker yet, and I really want to get that review out. So, if my Joker review ends up being the next one, then that's that. But I will be reviewing the other movies in this franchise, obviously, this month. Okay, this is Slum Guy 172 saying, peace out.